And to think that this is just the warm-up, eh? This week we've got Pog, Jonas, Remco, Lipo. Who's ready? Reuters certainly is. Following might have more to do, and it's goodbye Bardet for now. The Dauphiné resumed with world champion Tadej Pogačar in the leader's jersey, and the audience asking if a normal bunch sprint might be possible. The organisers had designed the stages with the odd obstacle, but Lidl Trek worked wonderfully to control stage 2, keeping the break in check and their leader crucially in the bunch. Jonathan Milan duly finished the job to win a road race for the first time on French soil and take the yellow leader's jersey. A 13-man breakaway posed more problems for the US team the day after, however, fighting enough to stay away before fighting each other for the win. That was taken by the under-23 world time trial champion Ivan Romeo of Movistar. The Spaniard had attacked inside the final kilometres from a group that included mighty Mathieu van der Poel. Romeo pulling off the win of his life and pulling on the leader's jersey. Now, time trials aren't always known for being entertaining, but Dauphiné Stage 4 would be different.
It's time for Remco Evenepoel, the Olympic champion. Let's see what he can produce today. Vingegaard starting the day very close to the likes of Evenepoel, Pogačar and company, but it's time for Pogačar then. Already has been in the yellow jersey. He won a sprint on day one, but what can he do against the clock here? This looks absolutely sensational. Remco Evenepoel going supersonic at the Dauphiné. And we're talking 11 seconds in favour of Evenepoel. Tadej Pogačar is also going to be down on the world champion. The clock is green. He's fighting for every second here. He cedes 20 seconds to the Belgian star. Tadej Pogačar ceding 3/4 of a minute to Remco Evenepoel on the time trial bike.
So, while seasoned Poggy watchers were wondering if there was a problem, the sprinters were back at it, and Jake Stewart was busy pulling off the performance of his career.
Now it's going to be Consonni to do the leading out. On the wheel of Milan, you have the green jersey of Van der Poel, Jake Stewart in the blue. He's going to go early, in fact. Stewart launches his sprint already. He has gone early, left-hand side as we look at it. Milan's playing catch-up. It's Jake Stewart at the front. Milan might not get there. Stewart's there. Stewart's there. Stewart has it. What a win for Jake Stewart.
A first World Tour win for the fast man from Coventry. 3 stages remained, and on paper all 3 were set to have an impact on the general classification. Before a visit to Combloux, the 3 tenors were led by Evenepoel singing lead, Vingegaard joining on chorus, and Pogačar in the unusual position of providing backing vocals. The music over the next couple of days, however, would change.
Pogačar, he tries to motor away, but stuck to his wheel like glue for the time being is Jonas Vingegaard. Tadej Pogačar riding himself back up the standings in the Dauphiné. The Tour de France is set up to perfection. Rainbow bands on his back, and he's in the right place to show those off. And the modern champion of champions, who wins stage 6 of the Dauphiné. Visma Lease might go on the attack with what looks yet again to be Sepp Kuss. Tadej Pogačar may be deciding that the best form of defence is attack, and he certainly does. It's the all-conquering Tadej Pogačar we all know.
Today we wanted to take control on all the climbs, but Visma tried with all the attacks, and I was pretty happy how Paul was riding today and the team. It was sort of defense not to get attacked by everyone from Visma. So I launched it and I maintained a good pace to the top. So it was I was really happy that I could defend the jersey like this.
It was a lead of 1 minute and a second going into the final day for Pogačar, and when an early break took a decent gap, UAE Emirates XRG seemed content to let it go. 10th placed Enric Mas's presence seemed to threaten what was set to be the best ever Dauphiné GC finish by a Norwegian. fifth place by Tobias Harlan-Johannesson, and because of that, Uno X Mobility set to work to keep the 11-man group in check. Van der Poel was on another unlikely adventure, but as he was again caught, the final climb began. Lenny Martinez had fallen off the GC the day before, but he looked good when he attacked Mas and went away alone. Evenepoel had a dig at Lipovic, but failed to put serious time into him, while Pogačar covered Vingegaard's moves. Frenchman Martinez stayed away to take his third World Tour stage win of the season. Pog seemed content to let his rival take second on the line. We might talk more about that later. And so Tadej Pogačar added a new stage race to his palmarès with a first ever Dauphiné GC win. It was the 99th victory of any kind of his career, and counting, you'd say. Poggi is the first reigning world champion since Bernard Hinault in 1981 to win the race, with Vingegaard in second and a brilliant third for Lipovic. The countdown to the Tour continues.
Once again today, great job by the team, and yeah, we managed to defend the jersey, and yeah, we can go happy to home and to prepare to the Tour.
In Switzerland, the Tour de Suisse began with the women's peloton competing over 4 days. The cycling world was looking forward to the possible continuation of the Demi-following Marlen-Reusser rivalry they'd seen at the Vuelta, and there wouldn't be any disappointment. In fact, day one provided a dream scenario for spectators. Those two on the attack, along with at different stages Tour de France champion Kasia Niewiadoma, Niamh Fisher-Black and Ushka Zhigat. The aforementioned 1-2 from the Vuelta came to the line in the idyllic mountain resort of Stade with over a minute and a half of an advantage. The Swiss took the stage and with it race lead on the opening day. The breakaway won stage 2, with Amber Kraak taking her first bit of success for well over a year. But Niewiadoma was able to take some time back on the other two favourites and keep in the fight for the GC. Reusser kept the jersey. Former world champion Elisa Balsamo was fastest to the line to take the honours 24 hours later, and we were all set for a fantastic finale. Could Reusser hang on, with Dutch star Vollering, now a Swiss resident, racing through her own adopted hometown? It was beautifully set up, and intermediate sprint saw the 4-second gap between the two cut to just 2. It was tense.
So the yellow jersey now makes a big move. We've seen this so many times in the career of Marlen-Reusser, and now starts to edge clear of Kasia Niewiadoma and Demi Vollering, who the shoulders are going left and right, as are the heads. So this is a big show of strength and a big move now from the yellow jersey. Marlen-Reusser into the finish, his 30th career win and her second general classification victory here in her home tour, the Tour de Suisse. Take a bow. Marlen-Reusser takes the general classification for the second time in her career with a phenomenal show of strength here in Kuznat.
So, home hero Reusser managed to distance both Vollering and last year's Tour de France winner Niewiadoma to take the win, with both of the other riders accompanying her on the final podium. One of the success stories of the season, and with a month and a half to go until the start, the GC battle for the Tour de France Femmes is already looking like it could be close, thanks to Marlen-Reusser. It could also be raced in several directions though. There's more names to add into the mix, a Giro to ride before then, but who do you think can do it? Already have an idea? Let us know in the comments section below. The men's race began in Switzerland on Sunday, and straight away there was action. Lots of it, in fact. Over to Carlton for the story.
Romain Gregoire is just tracing the camera bike here that gets itself into standing water and all kinds of trouble, but he's now got 13 seconds over the trio behind him and 1:21 from the Ben Swift group that had hopes, but all hopes have been dashed because of the pedaling of this man. And here he is. It's going to be a famous victory for Romain Gregoire, a man of diminutive size but generates enormous power, and right now he's used that power, wit and wisdom as well. He comes through the final circuit here, last few turns for him, and he turns every single pedal as if indeed he was born to do it. Super win for Romain Grégoire, takes the day.
With Bardet retiring this week, it was the end of one Romain empire. But another French Romain was the first to conquer Switzerland at this year's race. With one favourite, Almeida, already minutes behind, another O'Connor better placed. We'll review the whole race on next week's show. For now, you can watch it each and every day, live and on demand on TNT Sports and our streaming home, Discovery+. The other stage race on your screens last week was the Tour of the Pyrenees. And just like last year, Spanish champion Ursua Ostolaza saved her very best for the French race. What a 12 months it's been for the Basque rider. Back at the event where she took a first ever pro win, she pulled off the same result. A mountain stage win, this time instead of the Aubisque, Reed Col du Soulor, and the GC prize as well, making it now 7 professional bits of success for the Laboral Cucha rider. The other stage winners were Tour of Britain queen Ali Wollaston and Australian TT champion Brodie Chapman. In one-day racing this week, there were wins at Dwars door het Hageland in Belgium for Lorena Wiebes and for Paul Magnier. The young Frenchman made it a weekend double by adding a Sunday success to his Saturday outing, but he had to nervously wait for the results of a photo finish over Jasper Philipsen at the Elfstedenronde in Bruges. Time for a quick Dauphiné debrief then. Where is everybody? Well, given that the main appointment doesn't yet start for almost 3 weeks, and that the meaty part of it is a month away, any conclusion is going to contain an element of guesswork. Let's start with a winner. Tadej Pogačar's last defeat in a stage race happened almost 2 long years ago. Even when he doesn't win the GC, he wins stages. So on 99 victories, we can assume that he'll join the 100 club at some point during the Tour. This past week was as impressive as ever, but there were perhaps a TT weakness, maybe a bad day. Supremacy everywhere else, but history teaches us that the race is won towards the end of July and not this early. It also tells us that Pog is not infallible, though he has a sensational record. He does continue to look like he's on his way to being the greatest of all time. He now returns to altitude, going to Isola 2000, works on his TT for a bit, and then will go home. What about the mind games though? We saw a slightly different side to Pog, didn't we? And some ex-pros have said the non-sprinting on the last day, slowing up the day before as well, allied to comments he made after that stage, might have been a mistake.
I mean, for sure, today Jonas was really strong, but yeah, I also didn't want to go too deep for myself. It was super hot and long climb, so yeah. Luckily, I had enough time to ease up the last kilometer a little bit and to recover. But of course, you look at the performances, but you know that in the Tour they can be even stronger. But also our team, we get 2 more climbers in the team, so looking forward.
How do Visma Lease Bike react to that? Their answer will be to get up on high to altitude, get Wout van Aert, get Simon Yates back, strengthening a team that already as a block looked like the best out there. Vingegaard's demeanour on the bike was relaxed, but does the calm exterior hide a different view underneath? To Remco Evenepoel now. Supersonic against the clock. That's his strength, and it's something that he must continue to play to. In the mountains, the squad's DS already admitted to having to catch up, but he believed that they could get closer. It's worth noting that Evenepoel's progress from Dauphiné to Tour last season was remarkable. The Belgian will be hoping for the same again, and he seemed to already be analysing things as soon as he crossed the line.
Yeah, exactly. I think for sure trying to work on those, let's say, tempo changes. So when it's a high tempo and then they go 4 or 5 minutes really all out, I think I really need to get used to that. It's something that it's not really in my nature, so I really have to work on that. I think time trialing was on point this week, so yeah, I have to become even better in climbing because yeah, from the 2 big guys I was still quite far away, so I hope I can come closer to them.
What about Florian Lipovic? Does that ride get him into the Tour team? Now, you'd certainly think so. It perhaps may also influence his team's look at recruitment for the next couple of years. 18-year-old Paul Sixas deserves a mention too. Not scheduled to race next month, but 8th place is a mighty performance. A two-page spread in the national papers at the weekend means that he is the latest French hope, and he's going to have to deal with plenty of pressure in the coming years. And finally, a man who knows all about that pressure came to the end of his career in the Alps at the weekend. So this week on the Gruppetto, we'll let him have a very exciting last word. Goodbye.
Hello, it's Romain Bardet. I stopped my career in the Dauphiné, but I couldn't miss the Tour de France, so I will be for TNT Sport on the moto to share my knowledge about the Tour de France, and I hope you guys enjoyed.